Hello, I'm with Craig and Sam with the game Overruled. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Sure, so Overruled at its essence is a 2D platform fighting game where you and your friends are going to be running around, jumping about, basically just kicking the crap out of each other. But the main thing about it is the rules and objectives can be constantly changing. So 1 minute it might be king in the hill, so you'll be earning points by standing in this little hill. And then someone might change it up to do something like swag bag, so you'll earn points by picking up the bag and running around the map, and that's quite nice. But more so than just that, you can also change the actual rules themselves, not just the game type. So do you want to chat a little bit about what some of the rules change?
Yeah, so the sort of, that's the broader sense of it all. But if you dig down, obviously you've got cards which allow you to do things like taking away your ability to punch. So you find that you're playing with like 3 other people and your friends and stuff, and you're just being really terrible people to each other, which in essence is kind of what gaming is, right? And
exactly.
That's what we love about it.
So I mean, we grew up playing games on the SNES and the N64, so it could be Micro Machines on Mario Kart, or even Worms Armageddon on the PC, stuff like that, where you're playing with your friends and you're not only just trying to win, but trying to purposely upset your friends, which sounds a little bit mean, but it's quite good fun. And
in the nicest possible way, of course. We're all friends.
Exactly, yeah,
right?
There have been a fair few fallings out playing Overruled so far, though, so we're still really enjoying it.
I saw the character. It's got a massive head. What's the idea behind that?
So it's funny, one of the other guys with Lala, so the other half, the other founder, AJ, his office is completely full of those pop vinyl toys, so the big head kind of things. So it was almost inevitable that at some point we'd make a game with giant floppy heads, so we've done that. But we've grown up watching cartoons, so I'm not too ashamed to admit I'll still watch Powerpuff Girls or Dexter's Lab or anything like that, because I think they're great. So we've gone for a slightly more cartoony approach, which is why you'll see the cell shaded stuff going on, and we absolutely love it.
Plus it helps to have the cartoony element, because if it was super gritty and you're being nasty to each other, it's a little too serious. When you've got the colourful graphics going on, it feels fun to be mean, you know?
So was cartoons your inspiration?
Was one of them, yeah. I think it's a fair point. Like I said, the same room multiplayer games plus early morning cartoons is a fair point of inspiration, yeah.
A child's life on a Saturday.
Exactly that. I mean, child life. I'm trying not to give too away on camera, but this still happens these days, so I'm not too ashamed to admit it.
I see you got like posters of the people's designs on. Are they going to be like taken into your office and chosen down into like a design, like you're going to have
That's exactly the plan. We're really, really keen to make sure that other people have some kind of impact and influence on the game, because we grew up playing games and loving trying to influence them. So we're running a little competition here. You can see a whole bunch of images, and I'm sure we'll get a chance to show you some more, whereby everybody that's playing, we're letting them do a little drawing on a template, and if the characters are really cool and really funny, we'll put them in the game, which is really quite nice. And it's kind of the same reason why we're doing early access on Steam. So we're planning on releasing early access around about early to mid-May this year, which is really nice, because you get that sort of back and forth with the community. The people that are playing the game are the ones that can really influence what's going on. So you might be sitting there on the forums and you might play the game and you might come and post, hey, you know what would be quite good fun? You should have a capture the flag game type. And we might go, that's actually a really good idea. Let's see if we can get that in. So this is all part, it's like an early version of that, which is what we're trying to achieve.
Is there going to be a character customization or level editor in there?
So we're still experimenting with that. We still want to think. It kind of makes sense in some ways, because the levels are relatively simple layouts. They're kind of your classic 2D platform ones. So that would be a lot of fun, because, I mean, we grew up, again, doing that kind of thing. I was forever scribbling ideas on paper for that. So we'll see where that goes. But like I said, still experimenting, so non-committed to that just yet.
Is the multiplayer going to be local, or is it going to be hosted on servers?
So again, I mean, you guys would have played it, so it's quite a fast and frantic game. Right now we're focusing on local, so that same room kind of aspect. If we can do the netcode and get it so it's not laggy, because there is nothing more frustrating than trying to play a game, whether it's something like as simple as Mario Kart or as hectic as Halo, for example. Lag is the most frustrating thing ever. So if we can get it to a point where there is no issues with connectivity and stuff like that, then we'll be pushing that forwards. But right now we're staying local.
And the level on there, is that just one to show off, or is there different ones?
So with the build that you would have seen, I mean, you only got a chance to play the single game, but we've got 4 levels at the moment, which kind of all emphasise different aspects, don't they? I think that's a fair point. But going forwards, I think we've designed about 20 or so levels at the moment, but we brought 4 to show off different elements, different styles. So do you want to talk a little bit about what the levels can do?
So what we're hoping is that obviously we're going to go with different themes for the levels, as well as, you know, the medieval level that you saw in the current build. We're going to go for other things, and we've got our concept artist scribbling away, and, you know, even in the hotel, he's not going to sleep, he's just drawing and drawing. It's very hard to get to sleep when he's doing it, but I'm trying my best. But also we're sort of exploring the idea that, you know, levels might be an entity within themselves, you know, so maybe there's a card, for example, that makes the level flood. Now, obviously that's not a thing that's going in, maybe it is now because I've said it, who knows, you know, so we're experimenting with using the levels as more than just, you know, stages that you punch each other on. It's more of an engrossing experience, you know, and luckily we've got Loudon, who is one of our level designers, and he has played every game, so he knows what makes a good level, you know. So there's a level in this build which is kind of like a bucket, and if you disable the double jump, then people can't get out of the bucket, and everyone's going, why can't I get out, why can't I get out? But you find that you'll spawn inside it and go, why can't I get, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, you know, and just start punching each other. It's really, really fun, and it's frantic, and I bloody love it.
Exactly that, and I realise we've answered this question for a long time now, but I'm just going to keep talking, you guys can cut out what you don't like. Basically, the fact that the levels are so different, they allow for different play styles. So like Sam said, there might be a little bucket in a level where everybody jumps in, you can double jump around and you can be bouncing and trying to escape. But then we've got some little tight corridors, which are great if you want to try and escape with the swag bag, for example, but you might find yourself completely boxed in because someone will jump in behind you and in front of you, and then fireballs are coming from both directions. And
very fun. Exactly. It's very fun to block people in.
Exactly that, right?
Pound them.
It's just, yeah, so to answer the question in short, yes, more levels. We'll see what comes on in the future.
What about different weapons, like different fire blasts, different...
So it's quite interesting, really. When we first started developing the game, we had different stats for all the different characters. So you'd have some that were slightly slower but could do more damage, but then some that were quicker and would do less. But we decided to completely level that playing field out so that the main influence of how a game ends is the rule types and the game types themselves. But we're looking at doing something potentially in the future with, say, special moves for all the characters. So let's say, for example, a Mr. Freeze style character. His special move when he picks up the card, maybe he can play that and it freezes everybody in place for 5 to 10 seconds or something like that. So that's where you'll see the real dynamics of each character coming into play.
And if you pick up, like, say you could put in the game, like if you pick up 3 cards, you could trade them in for like a mega card. Is that something you could put in? It's
actually quite an interesting idea. So we've still got a few cards that we haven't put into this build just yet. We've got some really interesting, some really trolly cards. I don't want to spoil too much because there's some really funny ones, but we've got some design. So for example, you can play someone else's card rather than your own, or you can steal everybody else's cards and that kind of stuff. So yeah, we've got a lot of plans for that, and I'm really looking forward to sharing that with everyone.
It's your idea to break friendships.
We're doing our absolute best, and I'll be honest, it's kind of working. Yeah, so for me so far, yeah, that's exactly it. But like I said, we grew up playing the kind of games where you shout and swear at your mates. So if we can achieve that with this, I'll be thrilled.
And I've seen, like, when you pick your character, they're toys. Is it just the toys? They're just toys fighting around an arena, or?
So right now, I think the lucky thing about what we're doing, certainly from an indie perspective, is we don't really necessarily have to worry so much about justifying it. For us, it's about making some really cool characters, and it's our game world. It doesn't matter whether you're a guy that doesn't know whether he's a superhero or a supervillain, he's kind of confused, or whether or not you're a clown that decides there's a niche in the marketplace for naked adult clowns. I mean, it's up to us really to put it in, so that's why there's that wide variety of stuff going in there at the moment.
I just want to say, there is no niche for naked adult clowns. No niche. None. Cosplay, niche, no. Okay.
So why is he naked?
He was a clown and things weren't going very well for him, and it's a really long and sad story, but at the end of the day he just lost all of his clothes, and that's where he is at the moment. But you would have noticed we've actually got a big censor bar in place, so you don't actually see any actual nudity, it's just nice and censored.
And from a purely character design perspective, no one wants to play as just a clown, right?
Exactly,
you want to play as a naked clown, and you want to jump on people's heads and have them look up.
Yeah, we've been there.
So will you maybe give them each character a different bio?
Exactly that. So it's nice that we tend to do that anyway. So when Grant's coming up with the different character concepts, we kind of know a lot of the backstories for them just as we're making them up, because it's nice to have interesting characters. I mean, you would have noticed listening to it that each character has got his own unique sound. So when you play a card, it's different every time based on the character you are when you're playing them. And Sam's done a really good job of capturing those characteristics. So we'd like to try and get as much of that across in bio form and stuff as we can.
Do you reckon on the back of the boxes you can put their bio and stuff so the people can...
I think that's a really nice idea. I think we should chat a little bit more after the interview, and you can give us some more ideas to put in.
Yeah, because they're kind of like, I mean, it's great. It's got its own little graphic style. It's not... And it's obviously on Steam.
Yeah, so the plan is early access on Steam. I think I already said this, early to mid-May, so we can get the community feedback stuff, and then we'll start exploring console stuff further down the line. Like, again, nothing that we've actually committed to yet, but we'd love to see this on Xbox One or PS4 or Wii U, but we'll figure that out as we go forwards.
I was going to think this is a bit of a wild card, but are you going to put like maybe a camera functionality in there to take pictures while they're in-game?
That's actually not a bad idea. So before we came to Rezzed, we wanted to set our backgrounds on our own PCs at home to different cool things, and we were just trying to take screenshots in-game, but Ben came back with a really good way of doing it, and he was pausing the editor and taking really cool angled pictures, so not committing to it, but it might be a nice thing to do.
Have you got a favourite design off the wall yet? Or?
There have been some really, really good ones. I don't want to single any out, but there are 3 or 4 major front runners for me right now, but it's some of the stuff that we wouldn't even have thought of. I mean, it's going up there, and there's some really nice things, so yes, I have. I won't say just yet what it is.
And are you two going to be in the game? Are you going to have your own character?
Yeah, I hope so.
I'm already in the game. I can't. Yeah. So because I'm the sound guy, I do everything. So I kind of spend a lot of time on my own, and I go a little stir crazy. And as a result of which, the characters in the game are all my voice, apart from the announcer, who's AJ. But so I was sitting around, and I decided that it'd be fun to, for the clown to be the nice, simple, cutesy character. So he talks like this. Oh no, And then anti-hero, he's not a bad guy and he's not a good guy. He's just kind of a bit of an idiot, So he talks like this, and I'm playing with it, and so yeah, I'm already in the game, but.
It's actually quite a good point though. If anybody ends up coming up and drawing us for this competition, I've got a funny feeling that might win. So hint, when you're done with this, I'm just saying it's a good idea.
I guess your designer gets a break. I mean, your artist gets a break then.
Exactly that, and it's quite good because we're going to take probably the majority of the ones we've got. We'll take them, or we'll get Grant to actually concept them up in a style that's more kind of universal to us. It's Grant here jumping in. Grant will be taking them and drawing them, like I said, into a style that's good for us, and then we'll figure out next steps 3D after that.
Have you got any plastic models of yourself, like are the characters on your desks that just nod their head?
That would be absolutely brilliant, and I don't know why, but it's something that we would absolutely love to do. It would be worth making a game if we could just justify that, so I really, really hope we can do something like that.
Yeah, because the logo on your shirts is, is the arrows meaning like the game changing?
Exactly, yeah. So the guy that did the logo for us is a really good friend of ours, a guy called Kerem, and he's done a really nice job, and I think it kind of sums it up, because Overruled, it just kind of sums up. Firstly, you can change the rules in your way, but like we've got this is the black and white logo, but you can kind of see our coloured logo up there, that we wanted that clashing of blue and red to really show that actually things can mix up a little bit, but the arrows are exactly that to show things can start mixing up.
It can go either way,
yeah, exactly.
You can go either way, no matter what.
Yeah.
You got anything else to add you'd like to say?
Well, it's been absolutely brilliant. This is the first time we've shown it at Rezzed. It's the first time we've shown it publicly. So the game's currently 10 weeks old, so what you would have seen is only 10 weeks. So that's quite junior, really, when you think about it. And it was absolutely terrifying bringing it here. But thank you to everybody that's come along to Rezzed and has played. And we've had some really nice feedback from you all. So this has been absolutely a fantastic experience.
And has the people playing the game enjoyed it?
It seems like we've had a couple of people coming back, which is really, really nice. In fact, we had a few guys come back earlier and challenge us to a game. And I'll be honest, it got really, really close, and they nearly won that one. So, but we just about pipped at the last few seconds.
One random question for me: what's in the swag bag?
That is a secret that if you get enough points, you'll find out.
Don't say that.
I made that up. Completely made that up. We're in trouble now.
Yeah. Swag. There's swag in it. There's swag in the swag bag.
It's a bag of swag, of course.
You open it up, swag. Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a free T-shirt if you can open it. You won't be able to open it.
Anyway, guys, it's been nice talking to you.
Oh, it's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers.